Sharing stories in the classroom of her time at Spelman College and on Wall Street motivated our next guest to write a series to empower more children and students. Here to tell us more about her series, The ABCs of HBCUs and ABCs of Black Wall Street, is founder and author Claudia Walker. Claudia, thank you so much for joining us here on Live in the Bay.
Thanks for having me, Olivia.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk about your books, but before we get there, we have to get to know you and what motivated you to write these books. You spent some time on Wall Street. Tell me a little bit about how that influenced you.
Sure. I graduated from Spelman College, which is a historically Black college in Atlanta. I was an English major. I ended up on Wall Street, and I realized that I was exposed to a culture, to an industry that a lot of students, a lot of Black women and Black men had never been exposed to. So when I moved back to the Bay Area and began teaching and became a mom, I wanted to make sure that I was exposing or found a way to expose young people to personal finance and financial literacy.
That's just absolutely wonderful, too, that you were able to do that. And I want to touch quickly, you said you are a teacher. How did that play a part in inspiring you as well to reach out to these kids?
Well, I realized that there was an education gap. So in my classroom, at home, I realized that so many students were not learning about personal finance. I found it interesting that kids could go to school, they learn how to dissect a frog, but not how to dissect their own personal finances. And so instead of complaining about it, I decided that I would create a solution.
That's amazing, and something that you mentioned, it really is a problem in our education systems, not teaching financial literacy. It's so important, and you need it as an adult. So you took that step to now teach our students about financial literacy. Tell me what people can expect when they read some of your books.
Sure. Well, the ABCs of Black Wall Street is about personal finance. It's about one of the most prominent Black communities that was created in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so it tells the stories of the activists, the entrepreneurs, the leaders, the thinkers that put their minds together and created businesses and created a flourishing community. And so from that, I have launched the ABCs of Black Wall Street Stock Market Camp, where I teach young people how to invest in the stock market. So young people will learn about investing, personal finance, Black history, and through the ABCs of HBCUs, they learn about the joys and the legacy of historically Black colleges. And
you mentioned camps that you put on that people can participate in. Tell me a little bit more about that and how people can still participate.
Absolutely. So we have a wait list right now. It's in high demand. That is a good thing. Yes, exactly. So I do it in person and I also do it virtually. So if parents or if organizations are interested, they can go to my website and they can sign up, and we can talk about ways that I can bring personal finance and financial literacy to young people.
And Claudia, what are you hoping when students open up these books, your book, and they are reading and taking away from that? What are you hoping that they mainly take away?
I want them to feel empowered. If you look at my books, they're all Black children on the cover. And as an author, and as a mom, as an educator, I think that representation is really important. And so I make sure that I create books that not only empower, but that children can look and they can see themselves on the cover of the book, in the stories that we tell. So ultimately, I want them to walk away empowered and feeling like they have the tools to make decisions in their lives.
And representation is incredibly important. And you are able to reach such a wide audience now that your book has been in Target. What was that feeling like for you?
It was a dream. I mean, I got an email from Target and they said, "Would you like to be part of our Black History Month collection?" And I said, "Of course, yes, why not?" And so it really has been an honor and a blessing because it's allowed me to scale our business, and it's allowed me to reach households and people that otherwise would not have known that we existed. And so many incredible opportunities have come as a result of that.
That's amazing. And what are some of those opportunities that have come? Are you allowed to speak on them?
I can't, but I'll be making an announcement on the 28th at the end of the month.
Yay.
It's an amazing partnership that I feel so incredibly honored to be part of. So stay tuned, and we'll be making a formal announcement on the 28th.
Amazing. Now, for you personally, what have you heard in terms of feedback from students that have been able to open up your book and learn?
Well, it's amazing. Even though the books are geared towards children, we've gotten a lot of feedback from parents, from librarians who have said, "You know what, I actually bought this for my niece or my nephew, but I want it as part of my collection." Particularly when we talk about historically Black colleges. HBCU alums are very territorial and really proud of their alma maters. But children have also said that they've never been exposed to personal finance, or they've never heard of people like O.W. Gurley or Jackson State University. And so for me, it's just amazing that people are reading the books and that they're learning things that they wouldn't have otherwise learned about.
Yeah, and as a mom, Claudia, what was the struggle like for you in terms of finding a book that helped prepare your children for the future, like stuff like financial literacy?
Yeah, I mean, that was really one of the main motivators, is recognizing that there were these gaps. I'm a teacher and I teach my kids at home, but there were so many things that I realized that they weren't learning. And so it's really been an honor, Olivia, because as part of the publishing company, my children are part of that. So I'm writing these books for children, and I have my children who are informing me, and they're saying, Mom, that doesn't make sense, or Mom, we love this illustration. So it's really a family business, and it's been so amazing to include my children in that, and it really teaches them truly about entrepreneurship. So it's wonderful.
I'm sure that's such a great feeling too,
It
as a
is.
mother, to be able to educate your kids on the things you want them to know.
That's right.
And one more for you. I know you can't talk about the collaboration coming up, but what else is next that we can look forward to from you, Claudia?
More book series. You know, I'm always thinking about what's next. We have a flashcard line that we're coming out with. We have puzzles. We've got classes, notebooks. So there's always something. You know, I feel like the horizon is full of opportunities and possibilities, and there's so much information. There's so much energy around our brand and teaching young people. So I'm just incredibly excited about the future.
Oh, we're excited too. Thank you so much for what you're doing, and thank you for your time. We appreciate it, Claudia.
Thanks for having me.